How many of you have ever driven while intoxicated? How many of you have ever talked on your cell phone or sent a text message while driving? I have. I've used my cell phone while behind the wheel, but I would never even think of driving while under the influence of alcohol. However, studies have shown that motorists who are engaged in cell phone conversations while driving are only as capable as drunk drivers with blood alcohol levels exceeding 0.08, the legal driving limit. While this may be hard to believe, think about the effects of both. Alcohol and cell phone use while driving lead to similar impairments: slower driving and following speeds, slower braking reactions, higher risk of missing critical traffic signals and slower responses to those that are detected, and a higher possibility of being involved in a rear-end collision, the most common and highest type of reported accident. Just like the effects of drinking and driving, you are putting yourself and others at risk when you use a cell phone behind the wheel. This is mainly due to an unintentional blindness that occurs when the driver looks but does not actually see objects because his or her attention has been directed from the external environment of the road to the internal environment on his or her cell phone. The driver becomes so wrapped up in his or her telephone conversation that they give their full attention to the person on the other end of the call, creating a hazard for themselves and drivers around them. However, this does not mean that we should all be driving around drunk, but rather that we should stop using our cell phone while driving. In the year 2000, about 1,000 deaths occurred. In 2002, 2,600, and last year, more than 6,000 deaths were reported due to distracted drivers using cell phones while behind the wheel. On top of the climbing number of deaths, about 330,000 injuries occur yearly due to auto accidents due to cell phone use. With the increasingly pervasive use of cell phones in our society today, who knows how many deaths and injuries will accumulate in 2010 or the following years. The solution seems simple: ban all cell phone use while driving. 6 states in the District of Columbia have already taken action to ban all handheld cell phone usage while driving, declaring it a primary offense which allows drivers to be cited for talking on the cell phone as their sole offense. In addition, 23 states plus the District of Columbia have placed a ban on texting while driving, 18 of those enforcing it as a primary offense, while the remaining 6 only calling it a secondary offense. Although complete bans seem like an appropriate solution, some studies have shown that the number of crashes has remained the same and has not varied from surrounding states with different laws. The Highway Loss Data Institute conducted a study that compared crash statistics of the 6 states and Washington, D.C. that banned any handheld cell phone use to surrounding states. For example, D.C. was compared with Maryland and Virginia, both of which only have laws banning cell phones to drivers 18 and younger. The studies found that laws are not reducing crashes and that crash rates are relatively similar across state lines, even though restricting laws exist and the studies show that phoning while driving increases crash risk. As a result of the studies, should enforcement be tightened? Should fines be increased? Should insurance penalties be enacted? Maybe if drivers were given an incentive to put down their cell phone while operating a vehicle, if more severe consequences existed, they would follow the laws put in place. If drivers were to be fined high amounts as a primary offense for talking on the phone or texting while driving, they may be more likely to follow the law. Or if insurance companies denied coverage in an accident to a driver who is proved to be using a cell phone while the accident occurred, people would be more willing to follow the laws for fear of damage and absurd costs they would have to pay as a result. However, although nationwide cell phone bans, spike punishment fines, or costly insurance penalties all sound like effective ideas to prevent the dangers of using a cell phone while driving, the end result really depends on the choice of the individual. Therefore, I would like to ask all of you to consider the dangers of picking up your cell phone next time you're behind the wheel. Each year, about 42,000 people die in an auto accident in the United States, 6% of which are cell phone related. Imagine if you could decrease the statistic by doing your part in making the choice to drive safely and cell phone free, both for the safety of yourself and those on the road around you.